You will come in, will fear, young girl. You will come, will fear, young girl. You will come in, will fear, young girl. Young girl, oh, young girl. Young girl, young girl, young girl. Why ya kwa woman ko iko doya? Why ya kwa say kwa beka fu iko doya? Ngaka telo to kala bo to kala. Ngaka telo to kala bo to kala. Ya go, ya go, ya go, ya go. Check it out. Not even when you want to phone, you want to check it out. You are very bad. You are very poor. You are very bad. You are very poor. You are very mad. You are very mad. You are very mad. You are very mad. Oh, 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 you are very poor. Oh, no, oh, no, oh, no. He can now, oh, no, oh, no. He can now, oh, never go. He can now, he won't talk from oh, yeah, oh, yeah, oh, yeah, why, yeah, what woman could do it? Why, yeah, what say, why, back up, it could do it. I can't tell all the color, to color. I can't tell what to color, to color. Yeah, go, 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 oh, yeah, go, oh, yeah, go, oh, yeah, go. You wanna come in, will fair, yeah, girl.
Okay, guys, welcome to another edition of Science and Society. I'm very, very sure you are getting me very clear where you are watching from, whether it be in Liberia or America or, Asia or anywhere around the world. Most of our members who normally watch our show are from Liberia. Most of them are students. And so, welcome to another edition of Science and Society. We always here on Tuesday and Friday. We always hear this show is actually meant for professional in STEM, professional in science, technology, engineering, mathematics. And so there are a lot of people who are up there. Someone said the camera is blue. My camera is blue. I don't know when you say my camera is blue, but I'm going to work on that. See how better if I can work. Let me see if I can take break and see how better I can work on it because our guest is already at the back and 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 then facing serious issue. But I'm going to see why I can be able to work on it. But I think it's a little bit better for me because have been facing some technical issue, but I'm going to work around it. But folks, welcome. That's it. I will take a break and come back, maybe probably to see how best I can be able to work on the whole issue of the camera. Our guest is already here, but let me do that. Let me do that quick and see how I can be able to handle this.
Nailia, Imalia, you are baby. Nailia, Imalia, you are baby. Nailia, Imalia, you are baby. 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 Oh, you are baby. Oh, you are baby. I want the river. Now you are the river. Move almost see moi. Come we fight.
Okay, guys. So thank you. We already have 6 person watching us, and so Fatmata is already at the back. Our guest today is Fatmata El Kaba, and so waiting the other guys to come. Also the other host, Edwin Odu Bestman, and also Darius Boko. We have a very huge load of panelists today on our show. They're going to be here to give us to make a very good show, knowing fully where the background of our guest. She's someone who into physics and data analysis. Most of the time, we haven't really seen females into STEM into physics, and so she's got a bachelor in physics, and hopefully she'll be doing pursuing graduate study in somewhere around in similar discipline. And so we will have her on, and she's gonna come on while we can keep waiting because time is our greatest enemy. And so before we can bring on I can while bringing on, I have to give this breaking news because today is actually a kind of a good day because I mean one of the strong supporter of our program here that Dr. Doba Chris Yan was today appointed at Enfield in Liberia. So someone who actually always want to give back to Liberia. So some discussion we have over the time, debate among young people as to who to lead the Enfield, the National Public Health Institute, and Dr. Yan was just appointed a minute ago by the executive management. This is indeed not politics, but it's actually professionalism because we on this platform we push for people who are actually qualified for a certain position for them to occupy a certain kind of position. And Dr. Yan is an inventor, knowing him as someone who in the biomedical science is doing pretty well in that place. And so we've been pushing for that as young people, but other people also been on the other hand. And indeed, that's actually democracy, and that actually something that we all play because the two most of the names that we hear are all professional people. So we like to say congratulations to him and welcome, Fatmata. Welcome to the show. And this is Science and Society. Today we'll have the bulk of our hosts are coming on. They're going to come on. Uh, I mean, we can't keep waiting because you are a busy person. And I mean, yeah. So actually, this show is actually meant to promote people who are in a little corner. I can see always making impact in their field of study in science, engineering, technology, and mathematics. That are actually doing well. People don't know them. I mean, I've been seeing a lot of great work from you. Most of the time, you not the kind of person that love to post, but sometimes we are checking on the internet, seeing things both on Google or other places. And I mean, I saw some amazing work from you. In fact, the most importantly, knowing you as a female doing physics is something that because I mean, it's something that
Thank
actually
you.
amazed me a lot, inspired me a lot. So thank you very much. Welcome. Yeah, welcome to the show. Hope that we're gonna have a good show today. And welcome.
Thank you. Thank you so much for inviting me. Thanks to you and the team for inviting me. And this is going to be my first show, and I look forward to it.
Thank you, Fatmata. You know, since we started this since last month.
Mm.
And since we started, I think you the third female. There's been this debate on our platform here. Most of the female panelists have pushed for female to come on so that we can be able to, we can also know female stories also. So we're trying to balance the gender gap. And so you
Okay.
being the third female, and you know it wasn't easy getting you on because you have to fit in your schedule, but it's good having you on, and I'm so happy to have you on.
Thank you. I'm
Looking
happy to be
for
here too.
yeah. So we will go into basically our discussion while the other guys are coming on, and normally we normally start the show by an introductory remark from you, and so we want to basically know who is Fatmata El Kaba, and I mean how what are her upbringing, where she came from, going to where she's currently, is now, and also, I mean, basically, what are some of the motivations that you got, what induced you to do physics and data science, and I mean, basically, these are things maybe probably you mind on the show for motivational purpose to inspire young people who are watching. Maybe you want to call your age and say some stories that people know each other. Thank you so much.
No age. I'm kidding. Um,
Okay.
so my name is Fatmata El Kaba. Um, I'm a Liberian. I'm sure most or like almost everyone knows that. I came to the US in 2021 to study as part of the Live Liberia Scholars Program from Smart Liberia. Um, and speaking about motivation, although I did data science and physics in college, my initial goal was to do electrical engineering, and it's still my goal because that's where I'm heading for grad school. But when I was applying to schools abroad, I was trying to get into electrical engineering program, but they were like much more difficult, especially for international students, to get like full financial aid. And some of the schools I got accepted to for engineering were really expensive, and the cost after aid was huge. So and yeah, it also reduced the pool for me to get into schools for that major, like I said. So I end up trying to find something related to it, and since my background that made me to like engineering was physics from high school. So I thought maybe why not do physics and mathematics. I'm going to talk more about how I got to like engineering and want to do it. But just to continue, so when I was coming to college, I initially planned to do physics and mathematics double major. But then when I got here, I reconnected with my mentor, Mr. Ian Yap. He was the former director of LEC. So when I told him about, I think he already knew my interest. So when I told him about what I was planning to major in, he asked me for my school, and I sent him information about it, and he did some research, and he was like, "Oh yes, we actually have data science program." And I was like, "Oh, I didn't know that," because it was a new program. And during my application process, it was not really listed on the school website or anywhere. Um, so when he told me about data science, I was like, "Okay, maybe I'll try it." But then I took object oriented programming my first semester in college, and that seemed really difficult for me. So I was kind of scared, and he was like, "I think you should try it because if data science existed before, I was going to do it rather than electrical engineering because it's a field that could make you to work anywhere because of its nature." So I was like, "Okay,
Okay.
sure. Maybe I'll try it, but for now, let me see what goes on." And then I went on to take few other courses, and they were much better than the first course that I took. Probably because in Liberia we don't have much foundation with like coding and computer background coming from high school. So that's why maybe the first course was much more difficult than the other ones that I was taking. So when I took more courses, I end up going like, well, maybe I should try this, and that's how I end up majoring in physics and data science. Um, to his advice, and also just looking at what works and seeing how I will be able to get into engineering faster with any degree that I do in college. So part of it also was like I was thinking about what are some of the routes that I can take since I'm now in college and I'm not doing engineering. What are some routes I can take that can lead me back to electrical engineering and physics and data science? I see them to be the way to that. Um, so that's what I did, and here I am with a data science and physics double major. I thought it was not going to be possible because I
Yeah.
thought data science, coding, everything seemed difficult. But after getting to it, I think I like the visualization aspect more. But I'm still drawn to electrical engineering.
Yeah.
So speaking of how I got interested in engineering, when I was in high school, we had a trip. I graduated from Muslim Congress High School, by the way. I started from um, kindergarten up to 12th grade in Muslim Korea. I never changed school, so that's just the school I know. So we had a trip to Mount Coffee, and we learned about the hydro is how important the hydro is for Liberia and what are some of the things they're doing. And so after that trip, we were selected. Another student and I, who is like a sister to me, Fanta, were selected to present at Mount Coffee Hydro. And through that presentation, we were taken back and then told more about Liberia electrical sector, some of the challenges that are faced in Liberia with electricity, with electricity and everything. So, just hearing about all of these things and me personally relating to it because growing up, having not having electricity, sometimes I want to study up to late at night, but it's impossible because of, it's hard because there's no light and, whatever. So when we did that, I was like, actually, since I already love physics, because by then I was like a physics EA, and whenever my physics professor was not around, I would always go in class and help other classmates, or like when I was in 12th grade, I used to like help with 11 and 10th grade. But then when I was in 11, I used to help with 11 and 10th. So just like that. So I was like, maybe I should do something related to physics since I really like physics, and engineering seems to be the way forward since it's something I think like we really need, especially the more I research about it, the more interested I get in it. I hope that answers your question.
Sure. Thank you, Fatmata. It was actually a good opinion. good opening. I've been, I to have a background into teaching, and I'm seeing you serving as a teaching assistant in Liberia. It means shows that you kind of on top of the lesson, because for teacher to give you the kinds of that kinds of power to even serve a theater
Thank you.
is very difficult. So it shows that. But a lot of people, when I posted your flyer on the internet, a lot of people reach out to me to talk about you, and then there are a lot of positive comments that will come on, about you, about Fatmata El Kaba,
Oh, thank
and
you to all of
yeah.
them.
So how can you really blank, because as according to your explanation, you talked about you wanted to do electrical engineering, and because it was very difficult for you, which is obvious. I know this. Sometimes in Liberia, it's very difficult to get out of that country, so to be able to find your dream. And how how can you compare the two, like doing phases, and how will it be easier for you to transition back to your area of concentration, electrical engineering?
I think that's a good question, and it's a question that I would say maybe I might not give a perfect answer to because it's something I'm still researching. But during my internship last summer, I interned with Lifeline Technology, and it was almost like I work with both engineers and data scientists. And one of my supervisors, like, I think you should do data science more than engineer. I'm like, no, I want to learn more about how it is related. So I think engineering is really related to computer science, physics, and everything because and data science and all that because the part of engineering I want to do is power generation, and that is more about creating or generating electricity. So that's the part I want to do. And my internship helped me understand that automation, especially which was the part I was really focused on, um,
Yeah.
you could use data to help automate the process of creating electricity, whether it's whatever means that you're using for energy generation. So I learned about how data scientists can use data pipeline, can create data pipeline, use the data from equipments, like sensory data. They can use those data from equipment to actually help improve process. And one of that could be like analyzing the different numbers that are involved and how what time this number change, how does that affect the data. And through analysis, it's a long process, but I'm just trying to put it in a way that even people
Yes. Yes.
without a background would understand. So they use this data then to determine how long maybe a specific equipment is going to last, or how what is the predictive analysis of what they are trying to improve. And so just a little background about what Lifeline is. Lifeline is a company that is helping manufacturing industries to automate their process. So um, one of their parent company, which is Cooper Standard, is involved with manufacturing parts for automobiles. So one of it could be like creating rubbers, extrusions, and other equipments for a car production. So through that process, I learned about PLC, which is like programming control logic, and it's something that is also really involved with electrical engineering, and something I've been learning more about it. So um, a PLC is basically like what we use in in different places. For example, like a refrigerator, how we just give it, how we open a refrigerator, and sometimes we see like it knows some refrigerator knows that what time to turn on, what time to turn off. That's because there's a system set in place and all of that. And so just thinking about that, you can connect it to a circuit diagram, and circuit is also related to physics, and it's part of some of the labs we did, building a circuit and all of these things. So that part is related to it. And for the data science aspect of it, automating machines and actually getting to understand equipments and how they help making the process easier, faster, and less waste production also help a lot with that. So looking at that part, I'm trying to go more into understanding how PLC work because most of the not all actually, but many of the industries that use that are involved with automation actually involve PLC. And I think power generation is also going to be involved in that because if, for example, you're using a water to create electricity, then there has to be a system set in place in case of emergency or, just for regular process too. So that also helps. So I'm just looking at those ways that connect to engineering and also go into it.
Okay. Okay. So I mean, yeah, great answers and great discussion. Seeing you, it means that you actually have interest in electricity. And I mean, I actually asked this question because I wanted to, but I know the career track you took is something that is kind of a broad and something that you can be able to do electricity. I mean, you can be able to do machine learning, whole lot you can do in that. But it's actually a good thing because looking at Africa, meaning STEM driven Africa, we should be able to work towards a sustainable development goal. And one of the places like country like Liberia, we should be power have been one of our issues even up to now. We still don't have stable electricity. And so we need more people into this place, more professionals that will be able to contribute towards this sector. And I mean, we're gonna go into this because my interest is actually I have a lot of interest in renewable energy. I have a lot of interest
Yeah,
in
me too.
yeah, I have a lot of interest in I mean, I don't know, yeah, in renewable energy because this by that maybe you're gonna discuss that, looking at sustainability aspect of that also. But it's actually good. I mean, actually a good discussion. I would like to read comments and welcome our colleagues who just joined us. Moana Kalilu Kone, he just joined us, and David Davis from the Women's Initiative Network. She also just joined us, and so we had a lot of guys very very uploaded panel today for you, and they're going to be joining. Edwin is doing something somewhere, but he also going to join us. Quite strange. I didn't normally hear even before me, so I don't know. But I'm gonna read these comments. And maybe probably and K Lindo Togba is saying, okay, he was just commenting on my camera. And by the way, told Mr. Togba, or I mean my laptop, I changed my system. I changed my system because the this system we're using is kind of giving me a hard time, so I have to change my system. I'm using Windows. I don't normally use Windows. Maybe Fatmata can tell me about that. But that's why I made my camera a little bit dull. I demoted myself. And so we have Blama V Kamara. He said, I'm carefully following you from Isparta City in Turkey. And thanks so kindly for your hard work. And Mohammed Bari is saying, just join Fatu. And Mohammed is from Turkey. And also, Queen. He also comment. He said, Fatu Queen Fifi Kaba, you are strong, sister. I don't know, maybe yeah, maybe it's the other Fatu. She's talking. It's
Yeah,
other.
that's my
Yeah,
other sister.
yeah, she's mistaken. Most people mistake you guys.
That's true.
But yeah, but Mohammed Bari is watching. He's a very good friend of mine. Always follow the show, and also we have earlier Ebenezer Steve Molia was watching. He's still watching. Khalifa M Donzo is watching. And so Romeo S. Gono, the president of the Pharmaceutical Student Association, is also watching. And so I mean we're gonna move forward to see how we can be able to have a very good discussion. So Moana, we'll take an opinion, also a question from you. But before we can take a question from, maybe probably we need a little bit an introduction from you then before we go to Deveto.
My name
Maybe
is
1 second opening. Yes.
yeah. I'm Moana Kaliru Kone. I'm an enthusiast of science and technology. I study chemistry at the United Methodist University and professional certificates in database management. So when I saw the sister, when you sent me the flyer, I was like, yeah, I have to be on the show because we are we are dealing with someone that is from the background of data science. So I'll have to come and then get some knowledge from her. So I think I'll close up by a follow-up question. That is I want to know, I'm kind of eager.
Yeah,
How
Moana,
how does
Moana, Moana, we'll come back to you. So we'll
Okay.
join because we'll go to our calling maybe for opening. Then before you can be able to ask your question, you will start from you. So Makoya Donzo, welcome. Are you getting on, Makoya? Your camera is not on. Why? Makoya, can you get us? Hello, Makoya. Oh, too bad. She's joining us from Banga, so her internet should sometimes give problem, but sometimes she's on here. Yeah, she's joining us from Cottington campus, and so that's the interesting thing about our platform. We have students all across, even from Maryland. Students are joining us, but
That's
Makoya is joining us from Banga. So, Moana, you can ask your question. You are muted. You are muted, Moana. You are muted.
Okay.
Okay.
My question is how your background in physics influence your data approach, like how you deal with data.
that's a good question. I mean, in all fields, it's like having having another approach to like problem solving. So similar to that, physics is also related to that. Um, I would say physics help with like those complex physics problems.
Or I think she's facing a little bit of issue. So I mean, she gonna come on. Maybe she's facing a little bit of issue, Moana. But I mean, what? Let's do some pre-discussion before she can be able to come on back. And sometimes she's facing. Are you? You say getting me, Moana? You freezing?
Yeah, yeah, I'm
Yeah,
getting you. I'm getting you very
yeah.
clear.
So we can give her a little bit, but I think you're quite impressed. Okay, she's on back.
I'm sorry, I was online, but then someone was asking me about something. I'm sorry about that.
Yes, yeah, okay.
So as I was saying, it's physics is really important because of like those complex physics problems. Not only physics, let's just say physics and mathematics. Because from data science and physics, I had to take a lot of math courses, and I feel like these problems, although they are challenging, they help me to find different approach or ways of solving them, and that helped build my analytical skills. And data science, using these skills, you can try to understand how a problem should be solved. If, for example, so like there are six approach to like solving problems in data analytics. So one is first to define the problem, and then go on. After you define the problem, you go on to collect data. If if there are no like pre-existing data that relates to it, but collect data. After collecting data, then you clean the data, analyze the data. So I would say analyzing data and then visualization could be some of the most important parts, and also like drawing conclusion from it. Sometimes you have a data, you try to analyze it and everything, but then drawing conclusion, okay, what is this visualization telling me? That becomes a really difficult process. So like having a background from physics is important, because then those analytical skills that you've developed over the years, having the physics background help you to understand what to do next, and it help you with different approaches like you deal with math. That's why some people say math is not important. It is really important. You might not see it, you might not even use like those math problem you're doing, but they help with brain development, so that's why it's important. So also like just understanding what the problem is asking about, yeah, it help with all that. Now on the flip side of that, I'm just flipping your question to say how does data science also help physics. I would say data science is really important for most fields nowadays. I know some of my friends who are in the political field, but they're doing like data analysis and stuff. So like for physics as well, we had a computational physics course, and that was mainly about using how can I solve this problem using the computer, like coding approach and so on. So you could maybe have a problem about what time is this ball supposed to like drop, like for example projectile motion, and then you use data science to coding to understand to solve the problem by like giving the exact time that is supposed to happen. So yeah, it is important for both aspects. I hope that answers your question.
Yeah, sure. It will just take me to the next question. So I think it's just interdisciplinary aspect that you've given. So I'm kind of like, can you give us a synopsis of what data science actually about? Because physics broadly we may somehow know what it is, but data science I believe is a new revolution that is coming. Though it has been existing, but I think it is a new that people need to explore as we move towards a more data driven world.
Yeah, like you stated, data science is involved with many things, and I think it's really important. So just to tell you about what it's about, so it's mainly about trying to, for me, I usually say it's about analyzing, like using data to draw conclusion. Maybe some people might not agree with that, but I think it's mostly about using the information that you have to get solid evidence or approach to like solving problems. So what I mean by that is like the steps I just mentioned about data science, right? It's mostly related to, you can use this to apply to like any field of study, and that could be like, okay, so I'm trying to predict what is going to happen next. For example, I'm a business person. I'm trying to predict how much people are going to respond to this product, or what product should I sell next based on all of the other products I've sold. What product should be my next target that people are going to get? So I could use data science to say, okay, I want to predict that, and then I'll gather my data, clean the data, analyze it, and then say, okay, based on what I've seen, it could be I'm going to use this data. I'm going to create this product, for example, and then actually, it's kind of hard to explain that way, right? Let me put it into a simple way. Let's say, for example, you're trying to analyze the races of like students on campus. So, how many students are like white, black, Latina, and so on. So, you could go on to gather your data and like you collect survey first so that you can have the data. Let's assume that there is no existing data. So when you collect that survey, you can use that. You can ask students some questions about what is your gender, what is your race, and other information. So when you ask them about these questions, then you use that data to say, okay, based on that, I'm analyzing this result to say, okay, there are, for example, 15% of white students in this school, there are 5% of black students in this school, and so on. And so why, and then you can ask a why question following that, like why are there more races than others. Like for example, why are there more black students than white, or why there are like more Latina students than black, and so on. And then you could say you could go on to like use include that. Let's say in your previous question, I'm just giving these in step, but maybe they could be together. And then you could say, okay, based on the data and the analysis I've drawn, it could be because of this. But sometimes you have to determine based on the sample size, and you cannot just judge an entire population by maybe collecting five data and say, okay, based on these five data that are collected, it's mainly this group that says this. It doesn't represent everyone. So you have to understand how many collections you're going to do, what is the sample size, and so on. So in short, data science is just about using information, whether it's the one that you gather from the past to help you predict future events, to help with recommendations of what to do in your current stuff, or like help you know some of the problems that exist that you might not have realized, and so on. So relating this back to my internship, one of the things that we used to do with the sensory data was to like create pipeline and stuff. But the end goal eventually was to analyze what time a specific equipment is going to fail. So that's like a manufacturing company, but they're using the data to analyze what time an equipment is supposed to like maybe stop working, for example, or what time it's going to require maintenance, or what is the problem. So there are a lot of equipments that are being used. So sometimes it's even difficult. If there's a problem, how do you know where that problem is coming from? So if you use data science, you can then determine to say, okay, this data is what I've been getting from the past. For example, I've been getting only once, but now I'm seeing 0, 0, 0, 0. So it means the problem might be from this, because now the data I'm getting is irregular to what I used to have. So it makes it easier for the engineers to know where that problem is coming from and then go and target that specific location instead of going to each of it and then doing try and error. Does that answer your question?
Wow. I think we'll come back to you, Moana, and you know, folks, if you are just watching, you are watching Science and Society. This program is sponsored by the I Have Library Project in the US, and of course, the librarian David Dose, headed by Edwin Olu. And so we are on with Miss Fatmata El Kabashi has a background in physics and data science. I mean, way back, I didn't see women doing physics, but now I think women are moving the on the front line of science, speaking science and discussing science, and that's what we're seeing here now. And I mean, my questions are kind of because I'm so much curious about you being a female. How are some of those challenges you face working? I saw a lot of stuff you work at a lot of places on internship. I know this sometimes it's very difficult as a female working in a field on a practice. I mean, in a lab where you have men. Maybe sometimes you even stay to the lab up to maybe late hours because you need to get your results. And how are you managing? How did you manage? I mean, all along in school to get all of your grades. I mean, you got very good grades, graduating with is it magna cum laude, right? Is it summa or
Soma,
magna cum?
Soma
Summa,
Kuma.
yeah, summa cum laude. And I think we have one summa cum laude fellow here. He's gonna come on to also and so you guys can give all the secret in getting summa cum laude to Moana and myself because is very much. I mean, I'm a student. Maybe probably I'm going to follow you guys' footsteps, but it's quite inspiring. How did you really move your way through
I
to
think we're all students though, so we are still learning. So
yeah. So, but how did you really move your way through as a female working in this environment, getting good grades? Even though someone may say it's the US, but the US also has a own parent who even will of the good facilities, but science is the same everywhere. You know, it's the same kind of hard study you have to do to middle with the. In fact, over there, you're not going to say again, I don't have electricity. So if you are a lazy student, they're going to know very fast because you have these basic needs like electricity and stuff that we face back home in Liberia. So what I mean, how did you manage?
okay, so I think your question is like two in one, because
Yeah,
the first one was like, what are some of the challenges? And now you're
yeah,
asking, how did I manage? So
yeah,
I'll go with maybe how I've gotten this far, what has helped me. Um, so this is a question that people ask me a lot, and as a Muslim, I place strong emphasis on my religion as being one of the key factors to helping me. So I feel like whenever I am connected with my God, Allah, I feel whenever I'm praying or I think I'm doing the things I'm supposed to be doing, I feel like I get more done. If I'm praying my 5 daily salah, I'm able to fit a lot of things in my schedule. But if I'm not, I feel like I procrastinate a lot. I procrastinate a lot, or like maybe do things I'm not supposed to be doing when I have a target. Anyway, that's for the religious aspect. Let's go to the part where most people might be able to relate to, or like practice, even if they're not a Muslim. So I actually set a goal. I make a to-do list usually about things I want to get done, and based on that, I target what is important and urgent, and and focus on those ones first, and then later move forward to the ones that are not that important or not that urgent, just in order. And sometimes just crossing them out when I'm done make me feel, yeah, I'm getting something done. It make me feel like I'm working. So that's one of the things. Setting priority and trying to work on what is important and urgent. So that's one. Two, I the priority part of it, I think, is really strong. So this part, people might just call them as like manage your time properly, but I'm just going in detail about how I manage my time. And I think I'm a really organized person and I'm detail oriented. So that also helps me a lot to focus on different details at specific time. Like I had a lot of jobs on campus, and some of the things they used to say was, "It feels like you're in every department on this campus. So what exactly are you doing? Where are you?" I did not limit myself. I did not limit myself to things related only to my major because I believe that transferable skills are helpful. So I worked in different places whenever I saw the opportunity. And I would say I thank Smart Liberia and I owe this to them. Like I wouldn't get this far without them, but also like in my academic struggles, I think the way they taught me, those times that we used to cry in Smart Liberia about how they were assigning a lot of pages or like papers to read and analyze. It used to be a lot, but coming to college, I think it helped me a lot with time management and all of these things, knowing how to work with like Google Drive and those other like smaller computer knowledge. I think those they really help me because sometimes they are really helpful in case if you don't know how to do use specific thing and you have to do something in it, you have to go and learn how to do it first before you can come back. So that also slow down the time you're going to complete it. So yeah, I owe it to Smart Liberia, definitely. So I okay. So usually whenever I was at work, I prioritize when I'm working in the dean of students office, I only do things related to the dean of students office. Like what are they asking me to do? What is my daily task that day? I focus on it. When I'm done, once I leave the office, I don't do anything related to that office again. It's like I'm a whole new person in each of these spaces. So when I go to career work, I put myself in a student mentor position and I focus on what I have to do. If, for example, I have an appointment with a student about helping them with something specific, I focus on that. If I don't have any other work and I'm still at work, I go to my supervisor, ask for more work. And so, yeah, so once I leave that office, also, I don't focus on anything related to that office. But then when I'm back, usually I would go to maybe classes like 8 or 8:45, depending on my schedule for that semester, and I'll return by like 6 p.m. And once I return, I take my phone maybe for like an hour, 2 hour, 3 hours, just to like ground myself and prepare myself for doing assignments. And then I spend time on doing assignment and then go to bed and wake up, go through the same routine. So mainly like I focus on different things at specific locations. And once I'm done with that, I leave that behind. It's like I am a new person. Unless maybe I'm dealing with a really big project that I have to work on outside of work. So that is a whole new thing. But usually that was how my schedule was. So yeah, prioritizing what's important and urgent, making sure also like whenever you feel burnout, try to take a rest. So that's something I used to do. Sometimes it would be like hanging out with friends on weekend, or sometimes I just get tired of my own space and I used to go to my friend's room to sleep, like Martu. We're from Liberia, so she's like a sister, and she was like an elder sister to me on campus. So whenever I was tired of my own space, I would move from my room, just take my computer and other things I would need, go and stay to her place maybe for the entire weekend and return when it's about to be Monday and prepare for classes. Yeah, so finding something that you like. Also, whenever I'm free, I read a lot of stories, and those help me also like disconnect from reality, I would say, because these are maybe fictional stories. So I also use that. So find something you like. Prioritize your time, know what to do at what time, and also like try to have fun in the process. Because at first I thought maybe those people that are really brilliant or like getting so many things done really don't have a life. They just go on working. But I get to realize that is not the case. Sometimes these people have the most fun, and that's how they are able to like stay connected to do what they want to do. And so for me, it's mainly like watching anime, cartoons, or like reading stories, or like hanging out with friends and so on. So yeah, I hope that answered your first question.
Yes, yes. Actually, answer the first question.
All right.
Uh, yes. So
So
yeah, you
oh,
can come.
something I did not mention was also like seeking help when needed. But I think this is also like related to the second part of it. So whenever you feel stuck, sometimes it's not that you might think, oh, maybe I'm really not good enough, and that's something many of us struggle with, imposter syndrome. But sometimes seeking help from other people trying to know the type of imposter syndrome you have and how to deal with it is really important. And seeking help is one of the things that I find myself not to do a lot. So whenever these days, whenever I feel like I'm stuck at something, I try to see if if I try and like take a break, come back and try, I'm still not getting it done. I try to seek help from other people, and that really helps because sometimes it's not that you it's not that you are not good enough, is that it's like there's something that you are not seeing, maybe someone else will help you see it. So like the saying goes, two eyes better than one. So yeah, that's kind of it. So um coming back to the challenges, I think especially as an international student, a black student coming from Liberia to the US, sometimes it's I have to question, is it, are they doing this because, is it like racism, or are they treating me this way because of who I am? Like, is it because I'm a Muslim that they're treating me this way, or is it because I'm a black person that they're treating me this way, or is it because I'm a female that they're treating me this way? Sometimes that question, even unintentionally, I ask myself that question. Anyways, um, I had some really tough patch in college. Like sometimes what I found like really difficult to work with other students. And this is something that I usually share. I appreciate my professor a lot for how she stepped in. There was a time where I felt like whenever I say something, the group I was part of, not like this was just a specific moment during my sophomore year. So I felt like other students were not really listening to me, and I thought maybe because I'm different than all of the other people who were in the group. And whenever someone else says something similar, they'll be like, "Oh yeah, I agree. I think that's a good idea." So at some point, I got mad, and I'm not really proud of how I handled it, but I think I learned a lot from it. So I just, in the end, I distanced myself from everyone and then just started doing what I was doing and just asked the professor if I have any question. And I literally just refused to like collaborate with anyone in the group. And I did not join another group that would help me. So I think I could have handled that differently. Maybe talk about it with them, or like confrontation, or if not, I could have tried to form or join another group or talk to the professor about it. But I just let things be. And I think they kind of understood something was going on. But the next semester, our professor, I think she might have noticed it. So she talked about how can we improve collaboration, um, what are some of the different challenges you face, and so on. I feel like the question was directed maybe indirectly to me, but she was doing it so that the entire class would, know how to handle different situations, or like how to like not make other people feel less than they are. So when she spoke about those things, and I was like, I worked with those same people because it's like I'm majoring in physics and you're majoring in physics. We are most likely going to end up in the same class every semester, which was the case. So we might end up working on similar projects. So we had to like find way to like collaborate, or if it doesn't work, then it's gonna be hard. So I was placed in the same group with similar people, but then the approach was different, and I felt like you know I felt like the way they handled it was much better. It was They respected my opinion, maybe because of how I just disconnected, and they thought maybe something was wrong, but they didn't approach it. So now it's like different, and we actually shared ideas and other things. But anyway, that was my most difficult experience in college. But I think other than that, I learned how to work with other people. Like for example, not assuming what they're thinking sometimes, just because someone is quiet, it doesn't mean like they don't like you. Try to like start a conversation. Sometimes it's just hard to like start conversation. So try to start a conversation with other people and like try to take initiative and so on. So yeah, that, and also like seeking help. I already talked about seeking help, but I'm just gonna tell a story about my internship. So when I was going through my internship, it was mostly related to both data science and engineering. So I was like, I don't really think I have this much foundation in it. So when maybe I was faced with some challenges, I would often think, well, maybe I'm not good enough. Oh my God, I'm messing this up. But then I also had to remind myself that I should take a break. It's okay to fail. So there was this time when I was supposed to do something, and for more than a week, I was trying to do it, but then it was not working. I was installing a software in order to like program specific things, but then it was not working. So I was like, oh my goodness, this might be really easy, but then I'm not doing it well. But that was not really the case. When I told my supervisor, she also tried and she was like, that's strange. And then we brought it to the team during meeting and they were like, oh yeah, you have to install it in a specific order in order for that to work. It also happened to me and people started relating to the story. So it was not that I wasn't good enough as I was thinking, but sometimes things have to be done in a specific way, and I really didn't think about that, and many of us didn't. So just bringing it up, other people relating to it, make me feel like, oh, okay, maybe I should have asked for help sooner, then I wouldn't have delayed the process. So it's really important to like ask for help when you feel like you need it. Um, Trying to solve problem on your own is great. It's good to be independent, but it's also good to like be collaborative, and that both of these work together. It's not like I don't think one is much better than the other, but I think both of it like you should know when to work independently and when to work in group. So those are the two main challenges that I faced in college. But other than that, I think my campus community, they were really amazing. Um, they were really supportive. The staffs that I worked with, they became like um, people that I could talk to about maybe personal problems. My supervisors, they were caring and so on. So my supervisors, my friends, my professor, I felt like it was just the right community for me. So I didn't have like that other much struggle other than like maybe my studies and so on. So yeah.
Wow. I mean, very long journey, quite a long journey. I will get to my colleagues that are just joining. Deveto, can can you are you much better now? Deveto Davis, are you okay now? Deveto, are you okay?
Yes, I'm good. Good. Yes, I'm
Yeah.
good.
So can we get a statement from okay okay can we get a statement from you or maybe you have a question for the guest?
No questions.
Are you getting
Everything
me?
is clear because you mentioned teamwork. Yes, I'm hearing you. Hello.
Yeah. Okay.
Hello.
Yeah. We're getting.
And I said no questions. No, yeah, no question. Everything is clear. She mentioned teamwork, and which I understand. And then I want to say that once you get on a new job, or probably it's a group work, you see that you want to be more independent. But she clearly stated that there are times you need to ask for help, and then there are times you need to work alone. So I just wanted to say thank you. The conversation was splendid.
Even though the conversation is still going on. It was, So Edwin, welcome.
Yeah, my man. What's up? How are you?
I'm doing good. I mean, my weekend was good. So, I mean, do you have anything to say to the guests or any question?
Yeah, okay. Let me just make a comment before I come in with a question. I want to say I'm very proud of Fatoumata El Kaba. I know her sister. Her sister is my friend. She writes very well, and when I saw her profile when she graduated, I was like, no, to see a young person, especially a lady in the field of science, especially physics and data science, man, it's absolutely beautiful. It's
Thank you.
really, really beautiful. So I must commend you for your hard work, for your time, your commitment to your studies. And congratulations again on your achievement. We all are proud of you. And
Thank
I
you
hope
so
to see
much.
you do more in the future. So for me, I would like for us to talk more about physics and data science. I want to know what interests you to go into physics and data science. I mean,
I think I
what do
think
you see
she
about it? What do you love about it? For me, physics, I mean, not a lot of young people will say, especially for females, say, I'm going to physics, I'm going to data science to do something like that. It sounds odd to a lot of females, but seeing you going into it and not just going into it, but doing so well and graduating with such an honor, trust me, it's actually beautiful to see.
I think she already answered that
Sorry
question, right?
about that.
But yeah, I think she already answered, but she can just say it
Yeah,
Yeah.
very
she can
short.
share so I can listen.
Okay. Yeah. I explained that passion for physics started um, in high school, but then I used to be a physics TA for when I was in 12th grade. I used to like help my professor sometimes tutor 11th grade and 10th grade. And when I was in 11th grade, I used to help with 11th and 10th. And when I was in 10th grade, was 10th. Rarely ninth grade, but yeah, it was just 10th when I was in 10th grade. So I really loved physics and I used to read ahead. But then we had a field trip to Mount Coffee. So during that field trip, we were selected, another friend and I, a classmate and I, who is like a sister now, we were selected to give a presentation at the Mount Coffee Hydro. So during that process of like trying to get the presentation going, we went back to Mount Coffee. We learned a lot about electrical engineering, Liberia electrical sector, what are the challenges they're facing and how they're trying to handle all of these challenges. And, you know, just talking about all of these things really inspired me. Like, I was like, since I really like physics, maybe electrical engineering is something that I should try. And since then, I did more research about Liberia electrical sector, and it's something I want to do. And even in college, I tried to do some when I was having some personal projects or like class projects to work on. I tried to relate it back to like Liberia electrical sector, but sometimes it's hard to get data, and I'm not sure who to also contact if I want specific data about it. So that's why I laid up. So after high school, I was accepted into the Live Liberia Scholars Program, and that program was really helpful, and it helped me. It was like a scholarship also that helped me come to the U.S., pay for my tuition, and also helped me develop skills that helped me a lot in college, which I also mentioned previously. So when I got to college, I was initially thinking about physics and mathematics because when I was applying, it was really hard to get into electrical engineering programs. And I was advised by like many other mentors to like do something related to it and see how I could like shift my focus. But then, since it was harder to get into fully funded electrical engineering programs, the ones I got into had like harder they had lower aids, so that means I had to pay more, and that wasn't feasible, especially um, since Mad Liberia was the one sponsoring us, and like they had other scholars. So I ended up going to Beloit with physics and mathematics, in intention of doing physics and mathematics. But then I reconnected with my mentor, Mr. Yap, who I got to know him from like high school when we did that trip and everything related to my coffee. He told me, "Well, send me a school information." I told him about my plan, and he was like, "Send me a school information. Let me see. Let me make more research and see what goes on, what could be related." So I did that, and he did that. I mean, he did that, and he got back to me. He was like, "Oh, I think you should do data science. If I could go back and choose a career, I'll do data science because I think it's related to every field." So I was like, "Okay, I could do data science and physics then," and that's how he told me about it. But then I was having some difficulty with computer programming, especially the coding side of it. So I had to take a few more courses to really understand whether I wanted to major in data science. So I actually majored really late in college. So even the plan of graduating early was something I was shocked about because I was just taking more courses as I could take because my fear was I'm doing too heavy majors, so I'm not going to graduate early. But after taking like 6 7 courses, I ended up graduating earlier than I expected. And when I told my advisors about, is it true I'm graduating, they're like, "Yeah, you did everything." I was like, "Oh my god, that's amazing." So yeah, that's how I end up doing data science and physics. But I'm still trying to redirect my focus to electrical engineering by going to grad school for electrical engineering. I hope that answered your question.
Yeah, I think. Any
Wow.
follow-up question do you have?
Yeah, yeah, so amazing. So amazing, amazing story. So now, I mean, for the journey now, what can you say about your journey now? How do you see it? And who inspire you as a person, as a young person, who inspires you to go into physics? I mean, what do you see? What captivates you that you move into that direction?
Um, So, like high school, when I first got interested into physics, it was really my physics professor, Otelo Yankui. I graduated from Muslim Congress High School. So, he used to give me his books, and I used to read ahead of like class. And I'm not really sure, but then whenever I would solve problem, whether it's physics or mathematics, when it's really difficult and I keep trying, I get super interested more because I want to get a solution. I want to come to a conclusion. Um, so it's almost like that challenging side of it was what drew me to it. In addition to him encouraging me and like helping me to study. And when I was studying, if I had any trouble, I would go to him and he would help me with what I had trouble with and so on. So yeah, he helped me a lot earlier about physics, and later on I connected with other people, like I mentioned, Mr. Yap was another person, Mr. Momolu, Madam. These are the people that also help a lot doing Mount Coffee trip, and they also contributed significantly to why I ended up deciding to go into electrical engineering. And also just looking at the situations that we face daily um, in Liberia about electricity and everything. My main focus, I was initially thinking about doing electrical grounding, but it's kind of much more difficult to focus on electrical grounding at this stage since electricity is really low. I mean, Liberia has like 31% electricity access rate. So I did a research before about electrical grounding, but and it seems like not a lot of people know what that is. Um, and I think that's something I want to do more. But for now, I'm thinking about doing electrical engineering to help improve the electrical sector, and all of that stems from like physics and physics. These people that were involved that inspired me. I just mentioned them. Um, yeah.
Wow. So we'll go to
Uh-oh.
Director, then before we come to Edwin. Director, can you ask your question now? You have to unmute yourself. You are muted, Director.
Hello?
Yeah, Edwin, we'll go to Director, then she can ask her question, then we'll come back to
Okay,
you, and
okay,
then
no
I'll be
problem.
able to ask. I'll be able to ask because I have a question to ask. Yeah, Director.
Okay, no problem.
Director, we're not getting anything from you. We're not getting.
Motivation, motivation, or
I did.
advices you have for young students.
So
Hello, are
she's
you getting
saying,
me now?
yeah,
Hello.
you can say
The
that. Yeah, you
background
can
is the
say that again.
problem.
You can say that again. So I think she's
I think
facing some
I
problem
overheard
for.
her question. She is saying, what is your motivation and pieces of advice for those who want to go into physics and data science?
Um, so first, what is my motivation? I think one of it has to do with Liberia electrical sector and how it is, and I I really just being in the US, seeing how there is much reliable electricity access to all of these things, and coming back from high school, we did not even know how to use computer from high school because of electricity. I remember when we're in high school, one of the things that used to excite us was when we're told, "Oh, we have computer lab today," and everyone would be, so happy running. And then if like there's no electricity, so and I think that's not a case only for me, but also for other Liberian students. And I really hope that's something that could be changed. And I think Liberians we have like a potential. I mean, all countries, but just speaking on Liberia because that's where I'm from, and these are the people that I know. So I think we have a lot of potential, and if we are given the right skill and knowledge, we can cultivate these to help Liberia in a lot of way. Um, so yeah, I really want to do electrical engineering. It's something that even recently I was speaking to someone, another mentor connected me to, and he was like, "Why don't you just do data science? Because you're already in this field, and it seems like a really leading field, and it's much better compared to like maybe why do you want to still do electrical engineering after majoring in data science?" And I was like, I think I want to go back to my country and someday and help improve the electrical sector. And he was like, okay, that's a good one. So passion. All right. So now speaking about advice, whether it's data science or any other field of study, I think you have to be disciplined. There are times when you might not want to do something, but you have to push yourself to do it. Other than that, there are times when things get really difficult, but you have to remind yourself. This is why the question you asked about motivation is important, because you have to remind yourself, who are you doing it for? What is the purpose? You have to have a purpose. So it's really important, because sometimes it's easier to quit if you think it's not going to work out. But then sometimes too, you have to know when to quit, because some things don't work out. But then I'm not going to answer the question about when do you decide what to quit. Please don't ask me that. Or how do you know when you should keep pushing? But um, I would say nothing is easy. You just have to like try, know what you want, try to find the people that could help you in the process of everything and so on. So data science was not really an easy major. Like data science, physics, both of them were not easy. But some of the things that helped me was actually seeking help, like talking to people. Sometimes whether it be like having projects, there are people that are willing to help sometimes more than you might know it. When it comes to financial aspect, we say maybe many people might not like to help, but when it comes to like sharing knowledge and other things, some people really like to help. So find resources, ask for resources on ways in which you could like develop skills about specific things. So in data science, not everything you're going to learn from class. Sometimes you have to use your computer or other resources to like find things online, or maybe talk to someone who could find a time in their schedule to help teach you one or two things. So that was also helpful for me majoring in data science. I had a lot of times where I had to like on weekend go to like someone place so they could teach me about different things, especially coding, which is my weakness. Yeah, also knowing your weakness and what to work on is really also like important. So know your weakness, seek help when you need it. It doesn't make you any like less important. It just make you to like maybe go forward, because now you know certain things that you didn't. um and also know what motivates you, what you're passionate about. So yeah, seek
Yeah,
help.
yeah. Before Edwin can come in, Fatma, that this is what most librarians don't know. Sometimes they just feel everything is just perfect. That if they see someone up there, they don't know how they just feel this person don't have a weakness. And
Yeah.
it make me to go back to even Sir Isaac Newton. Most of these scientists who did this invention, like Sir Isaac Newton, and I read about him. This guy had a lot of weakness in mathematics, but yet still he invented some of the great branch of mathematics, some of the great techniques in calculus. And that's why he came up with this saying that he stood on the shoulder of many giants. So, like you're saying, you have to reach out to people. If you can find your way, or in certain place, tell people about your weakness, why you think you fall short, and then you can be able to learn. And this, even me having moving me along the way, this is actually life. That's actually life. you know. So I will go to Edwin, and but I'm going to ask. This is a question I have to ask before maybe probably Edwin can come in, because I mean it's getting a kind of a good kind of a good discussion here. And my question has to normally, for me, my question is I still kind of around your motivation about certain things. I want you to really really compare the learning in Liberia. It's actually two in one question. Maybe you're gonna answer, then we'll go to Edwin. But so you're gonna compare the your learning environment in Liberia, and also in America. Looking your experience in America, what are some of the differences, disadvantages living in America, learning science, not just the art course, but as a science student in also in Liberia. And I know the things you went to, just like that.
Okay. I don't know about college because I did not go to college in Liberia, but just comparing my high school education experience, comparing that to my college experience here in the US, and like maybe my experience in Smart Liberia. Um, I'll say from high school, I had a really difficult schedule, like with classes. We had like, I think, about 15 courses that were taken at a time. And when it's time for midterm, sometimes I would stay up until the next morning, not sleeping at all because I had like an exam or something to prepare for. So it was really tight. And sometimes you feel like there are not that many resources available for you to learn. And it's difficult in that sense. And sometimes you feel like some professors, not all of them, they are really great professors, don't get me wrong, but some professors are like not setting you up for success. it's almost like, I don't know how to explain this, and I don't want to go further into detail about it because I feel like it's something that people could come back at me for. But I comparing that to my studies in the U.S. There was this time when my network connection was really bad. By then I was in Liberia, but then I was doing a Zoom, and I was having problem with internet, and my professor did an entire, like, he did the class on Zoom, and he also like did some extra work in order to help me get to where I want to be. So comparing that to the US, I feel like professors here want you to be successful, and if there is a way that they can help you on a personal level, they will try to do that, go out of their way to help you, and that's something I think I hardly like find like from Liberian schools, maybe where I was or other places. It's like, sometimes when you say, "Oh, I am having this issue," some teachers are like, "So what does that have to do with me? Have to get this done?" Maybe it's the part of the U.S. that I'm in. Maybe it's just Wisconsin. I don't know, but I'm just comparing my studies together. So here, I feel like the professors here, if you talk to them about the challenges we're facing, the problems, they will go. They will try to find another approach or ways in which you could be better at what they're teaching. So there are a lot of accommodations and programs here for students, and some students have different conditions and they're still learning, and they just have another method. Like, so, for example, if we're taking an exam for like an hour, some students who have maybe ADHD and they have problem with concentration, they would have an exam for 1 hour, 30 minutes, or 2 hours. And I think that that shows like to you as a student, if you're having that issue, it shows like, okay, I think my professors care and I could still be successful as compared to other students who don't have like any disability. So yeah, those are some of the comparison. And also I think Liberian system is really difficult in terms of education, but once you go through the right way, if you go outside of Liberia, it becomes a little bit easier for you to like adjust to the system, because it's like you're coming from hell and then going to somewhere a little bit better, if that makes sense. So Smart Liberia, like I said, Smart Liberia played a huge part in my education transition here. So those times we used to complain about how much.
Okay.
Sorry, I mute my mic. I'm back online. So we used to complain about sorry, I'm distracted. Um, so there are times when you're here, it's almost like, sorry, I'm distracted, and I forgot what I
Okay.
was saying.
Okay. So we can move on to a different question. That's obvious. That's life. So Edwin, we can get back to you. You are muted, Edwin.
Okay. So I want us to talk about our career goals, right? Because when you do physics and data science, I believe there's something that you want to achieve or you want to do in the future. So I want to know, and the university she attended, Balliol College. I want to know how, Balliol College helped her to her experience here at the university, how it has helped to shape her career goals. That's what I want to know in physics and data science.
Fatmata, are you there? She's facing a little bit issue.
I think
Yeah, she's facing a little bit issue. But yeah, you are muted, Fatmata.
Okay, my background downstairs was a bit noisy, so I came to a much quiet location. Sorry.
Okay. So Edwin, you can. I think she was not getting you.
so. Fadu, I'm saying I'm more interested in your career goals. I want to know because I believe in physics and data science there's something you want to achieve. So I want to know how did your experiences at your university has helped to shape your career goals.
Um, I think I talk a little bit about this. I mentioned that my career goal is not like physics and data science, but rather engineering. And so right now I've been working a bit on my grad school application and I'm hoping to do engineering. I don't know how that is going to go, but I still want to do engineering and electrical engineering for that. And I want to do power generation. So I think my background in physics and data science help like interchangeably with that. So for physics, the analytical skills is really helpful with like, and also like circuit diagram, understanding electricity, voltage, and all of these things. Since I want to do electrical engineering, they are really going to be helpful towards that career path that I'm heading towards. And also, data science is related to most of the fields nowadays. It's a new field, but it's almost like related to every other field in some way or somehow. And I think the automation side of it, especially since I want to do power engineering, the automation side of like the automation side that is related to data science is somehow helpful because it's going to in case of power engineering, it's going to help me understand how to automate things and so on. So like I mentioned during my internship, Liveline Technologies, we were like testing, training, validating processes and using machine learning models. So that's like a data science, but then it's used for like automating plants and other stuff. So we use that to analyze how well a plant is going to keep working for how long, um, and what how does it make the process easy. That is, for example, if you're creating a rubber extrusion, it has to be in a specific way and so on. So data science help you to get to understand these things. Data science in line with engineering help us to like achieve the goals of the company by making the process easier, cost effective, and reduce waste and so on, and also just predictive maintenance for the equipment that they have. So just thinking about these things, and I don't know if you were here when I was talking about how there are different parts of the equipment and how the change in the data could help you understand where that problem is coming from if it's not related to the previous data that you've been having. So that could help you understand where to work on, what the engineers should do to fix a specific problem. So coming back to electrical engineering and the part I'm interested in, which is electricity generation, is much helpful towards that. Like for example, if you have issues, you could use data science to like analyze where the problem is coming from based on that. But also just programmable logic controller, which is almost like a mini computer that carry out set of instructions, and it helps with repetitive processes, and it's mainly used for like industries to like do these things. So I learned a little bit about it through doing my internship, and I think it's also related to like engineering in a way that it could help with power generation, whether you're using solar or you're using hydro, like water or whatever ways you're using, it help with that a lot. So I hope that answered your question. Sorry, I was kind of thinking about what to say and what not to say because it's like some of it I've repeated and it's like I'm just repeating it again. So
Yes. So some of this question, but we'll go to Darius. Darius just joined us. Darius, we can we get an opening comment from you? Then probably you have a question to ask because we're going out of time. We're also going to open the line for people to call from Liberia on WhatsApp. I'm going to also announce that number. So Darius,
yeah.
Auntie
Hello
dearest,
everyone.
yeah,
People get this
yeah, we're getting you.
you are clear,
clearly,
dearest.
right?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm so sorry I'm late. But however, I am so happy, surprised. No, I won't say surprised, but I'm so happy to see a young person like Fatumata, into a typical field.
Thank
Because
you.
I'm using the word typical because if you are not there, you don't know how easy or how hard. For we that are outside, we will say it's very hard. So Fatu, thank you so much for taking that part. Yeah, I'm so happy. But however, I came late in the show, so I don't know if you said something about what motivated you
Yeah, I
uh
think I think she
to
said
talk
something
about
about
that.
that. Yeah, she
So
said
can you
something.
just tell me
But
data is
Okay.
like what
Sure.
really motivated her to go that path?
yeah, but I think let me announce the number. If someone who wants to call, they can call. Then she will right after that she'll say
Ah,
that.
well,
But
oh,
I think
okay,
this
okay.
I think this time she's going to just probably be brief in saying it. That's all. But because we have other things to
Okay,
go on, yeah, she gonna
okay,
get. But because she has said that about 3 times now. But folks,
okay.
if you are
Since she
watching,
has said that,
yeah,
okay,
this is
come
actually
on.
this is gonna be our 3rd time now. But folks, if
Oh,
you are watching us and you want to call, you can call on +905413853230. uh just call. I'm going to put you on so that you can be able to ask your question, or better stay, you can just ask your question in the comment section. We have a lot of guys joining from the comment section. Abu DCN is saying close the following. Rachel Taylor is saying I'm learning a lot tonight, and Rachel Taylor is watching from Philippines. And we have Abdullah Dole. He said this is fantastic and I'm so proud of you, Fatmata Kaba. And God give is saying I'm following from Dupont Road, Coffee, Pinsville. And Abdullah Dole is saying I'm following from Liberia. So we have a couple of guys watching. Francis Bala was watching. Kusu George Magid was watching. Earlier Ali Pedete was watching. And so if you want to call on the number on the screen, you can call. We're gonna you can call, and then you're gonna be live. And so maybe Fatmata gonna answer. So we have a question from the live, and then before Darius can come in, we'll replace me of a question. So the question is, what are some of the most exciting projects or research experience you have been involved in doing your studies? So you're gonna take that question, and also maybe probably in the process you can answer, just say something about theirs, because then we
no,
can go
I
back.
teach you my question. I teach you my
Okay,
question. Since
okay,
has
okay,
been
okay. So she
answered,
gonna
Yeah.
tell us
okay,
like
so
the
she
audience.
okay, so she gonna answer the question from the live. Okay.
Okay, so to answer that question, I worked on a lot of projects that I think I really love because all of them I learned maybe something or like get to practice something that I learned maybe from classroom. One of them was the data clinics project, and that was basically taking us through the entire 6 steps of data analysis. So like we gathered out, we talked to a community partner and learn about what they're trying to solve. Start with collecting data, cleaning the data, analyzing the data, and then drawing conclusion and so on. So that project was about adverse childhood experience, and that is like how does um, childhood trauma affect people lives as an adult. So people that had much more maybe childhood trauma, how is that affecting their life? For example, what is their current income? How much are they like contemplating suicide based on these levels of traumas that they had experienced? So that was a really interesting project. But another one was the Max Generator project, and that is something. Thinking back at it, I did not start working with my professor earlier, so we started building a Max generator, and that is like a generator that produces high voltage, and that is supposed to be like a part for a bigger project for my professor physics project, which was about plasma source. So that was another interesting project that I worked on, but the most interesting was actually from Liveline and the PLC project. And I got to learn about PLC through Liveline. And when I went on their website during my interview to learn more about it, I was like, wow, this is really interesting because I always wondered how is it that, you know, the mini fridge I had in my room in college, how is it that it turned off at a specific time? How does it know what time to turn off? And then it turns back on at a specific time. How does it know how to do that? Like when you enter in a room and then the sensor, the lights recognize that there's someone and then it turns on. How does it manage to like sense that? And just basic things that we are now seeing and getting so familiar with regarding technology. These are some of the questions that I had. And so learning about the PLC and how it's like um, something that is used for automation and with some of these things that I just mentioned, it's not like, oh, it's magic or it's a witch, but it's really like a program that is being done with it. And, so that was really interesting learning about the PLC project and also like working with data science team and like working with engineers and just hearing about their experiences. And Yeah, those were really good projects. I cannot say there's a specific one that is my favorite, but these three that I just mentioned, yeah.
Okay, so Darius, you can ask your question now.
Okay, Fatumata.
Yeah.
So you are doing thesis and data science, right? So people that are in your field, do they call them engineers or data scientists?
It depends on what field you are in. So um on my campus, I was the only person who majored in data science and physics. But then my school had like a really good pool of like allowing you to select your own major. So we had a lot of people doing so many different things, like combining art and science, like different majors, completely different, and doing it. So I wouldn't say there's a specific name for people that do data science and physics, but um, when you go into data science, there are many roles that you can undertake. You could undertake. You could be a data scientist. You could be a data engineer. You could be a data analyst, and that's also a major. But data science is like a broader field that covers like everything what data analytics is more about analysis. So, and then when it comes to physics, you could do physics and do some other things. You could do physics and work in different fields. You could work in an industry. You could work with um, what is this? You could be a technician, or you could work in a lab, and there are so many other places that you could work. So I wouldn't say I would give a specific name to it because I just combine majors together based on what I think would get me closer to my career goal. So yeah. And I
Wow.
think someone asked before about how did Beloit impact me? Well, I think that was Edwin, right? So just to go back to this, to answering your question, I think my campus, something I really loved about Beloit was how supportive they were. If you ask someone about something, if they don't know it, it could be they know someone else who also know about a way to help you or to redirect you. And also they focus on like networking and everything. And our professors, they are really amazing. Sometimes I would just bash in their office, like, oh, I'm having this much problem. Do you have a time? And we're like, yeah. And okay, this is the problem. I've been trying to solve it. I cannot solve it. So how do I go with it? And my professors will like, redirect me. Okay, I think this is the wrong approach. Why don't you think about it this way? Why don't you do this? And sometimes I'll come and be like, this is the answer in the book, but this is what I got, and I'm not getting that. So now it's almost like I'm challenging you to like show me how I'm wrong or tell me whether the book is wrong. So it's like and many of them would like, okay, and especially my physics professor, who was also my advisor. She's really nice, and she would go like, okay, now it's a challenge between Fatima versus the book. So let's see. And rather than like being mad, oh, why are you questioning this? She's like, okay, we are all humans. Even the people that wrote the book are humans, so it could be either a problem from you or the book. And sometimes, most of the time, it was from us, but there were a few times when it was also like from the book. So yeah, having this supportive campus community and people I could talk to, and even when I was about to do my internship, I went to my supervisor because there are people that I talk to on personal level. So I was like, I really feel like I'm not gonna do well in this internship. What do you think? And she was like, Fatmata, I don't know about physics. I don't know about engineering, so I'm not gonna give you any advice because those are the things you're doing. But just looking at how you've worked with us here in the Dean of Students office, I know that you always ask questions. And sometimes I feel like people might get tired of me because I ask too many questions. And some people, our campus community really encourage our question, and I don't feel like, oh, I'm asking a dumb question or why am I asking and so on. They always like answer my question and don't make me feel dumb about it, and I think that's something I appreciate. So it encouraged me to ask more questions and get clarity about different things. So she was like, I think you ask a lot of questions, and these questions help you to do what you're supposed to do rather than assume what you're supposed to do. So if you can ask me, I would say this is going to be one of the things that is going to help you the most in your internship. Keep asking questions. And if you need help, ask for help. This is going to be your first internship experience out of campus. So don't think too much about it. Just do what you are told to do. If you don't understand it, ask your supervisors. They're humans. I'm sure they're gonna understand it. And so just those advice that she gave me, I was like, okay, I'm really happy to hear that, and I went and continue what I was doing, because sometimes it's like, should I stop? But then just hearing someone else encourage me to do what I do, being asking too many questions, or like um paying attention to details and so on. So it helped me a lot.
Okay. So I want to know, right? As a
Hmm.
lady with so much potential, um, and you are in the US doing your service there, and hopefully you will be done anytime soon, and I don't know what next will be your path, right? But do you have, or are you planning on coming back to Liberia to, see how best you can help, or seeing how best you can come back to Liberia to work, anything like that? Because
Yeah,
so many
definitely.
people out here really need you.
Yeah, I don't intend to come to Liberia right now, because I think I have a lot of skills that I want to gain. Like a lot of build my network for the kind of things that I want to do and so on. So right now, my main focus is to go to grad school. And through it all, whether it was college and then going to grad school and so on, I've been building my network and talking to people that are in the field, or even if not directly in the field, people that could give me advice and so on. So maybe when I'm ready to implement my project, it could be these people are going to be people that I could also rely on for advice and other things. So right now I'm focusing on getting more hands-on experience, and I'm really hoping this would be engineering, but um I'm open to like roles that related to physics or data science, and then while focusing on my application for grad school. But I just want to get experience right now, and then go to grad school and build more connection network and keep working on what I think I can work on. And definitely, Liberia is the ultimate goal. I mean, that's where we are from.
Okay. All right.
Okay, Darius, you still have any question? We want to go back to Edwin. Then
No.
we
Then we can
because
go back to the comment section because a lot of people are asking questions.
yeah,
So,
the first question she already answered from the comment section. Only one question there.
so
She
I
didn't
think the
answer.
second question she also answered, but maybe she can say again. The second question says, what advice will you give to aspiring students who are interested in pursuing a similar academic path in physics and data science?
I think I already answered this question,
Yeah, yeah,
but
yeah.
just to repeat, I would say keep like in everything, time management is important. Learn how to manage your time, and also know um learn how to manage your time and also know what to prioritize. Yeah, that's part of time management anyway. But also like doing what you're supposed to do, know what motivates you, have a purpose. And like doing the work you have to do sometimes, especially if you're in school. So maybe this is something I did not mention previously, but when I part of when I got my internship, it was not like I had any experience with what I was going to do, but I took classes, and some of the things I wanted to learn, like I talked to other people in data science or like physics or other fields, but mainly data science, and I asked them what are some of the coding languages you use, and many of them were like, well, for data science we use like Python, and we also use like Tableau for visualization. We use Power BI. We use SQL for uh, database and so on. So by then I hadn't learned about SQL, but then I went online, like took free courses to learn about SQL and some of the other things that I thought I wanted to know to get me the positions that like internship or other roles that I wanted to get into that I haven't like taken classes on, and not sure if I'll take class on them. So yeah, taking initiative to learn things on your own and not waiting to like learn everything from school. School doesn't really give you everything. I don't remember who I heard this from, but they're like you learn maybe 20% or like 80%. I don't remember the ratio. But then it's up to you to learn the remaining ones. And that could be through your free time or what you're interested in and so on. And many of the people that I talk to that are in like data science or other field, this is something they do. They go online, they talk to people about what they should learn and so on, tell them about their interests and so on, and they guide them to what they are supposed to learn, and then they go online, take online courses. There are many free online courses, and there are some that are also not free. And one of the resources I would say is DataCamp. That's where I learned about a lot, like Tableau. That's when I learned about SQL, and they give you like a practical way to like approach or like solve problems. So also like, yeah, building a mentorship network. So part of talking to people is also like building a mentorship network. Um, have people that you could look up to like for advice or guidance on these things, or someone that could help you become accountable of some of the goals you set. And yeah, and sometimes things get difficult. There are a lot of times when I was in my room, maybe I cried the entire night and then woke up, wiped my face, and just go on with this face like everything is fine. And like I'm gonna get through this phase too. And yeah, so sometimes things are much more difficult. And sometimes when you see people successful, it's not like, oh, they have never had any trials or challenges. Sometimes these are the people that put in the most effort. Um, and and that's how they get to where they want to be. So you have to keep yourself grounded, be disciplined, know what you want to get. If you don't know how to get it, try to like connect, find resources. Whether it could be people, it could be online. There are a lot of resources online that you can learn from also. So try to use these things to get the skills that you need and so on, and put yourself out there for like opportunities and stuff. And yeah, I feel like there are a lot, but these are just few.
I think we winding down to the end of this process, but I'll just start for me, and maybe this could be my last question. Then I'll go to Edwin. There is also going to ask our last question, because I mean, is you also we're going out of time now. But uh, one may say, like right now we kind of are going to we, which is one of the major purpose of this platform to improve science education STEM. And so, what is your thinking? Do Can you give us the significance of STEM? We contemporary world, what benefit a country creating interest in science and tech can bring? What kind of benefit that the country hope to get? And also, we're talking about electricity. Also, what are some of the recommendations do you have to give Liberia in improving the everyday problem when it comes to electricity? What is the option? What are some of the options? Can Liberia do you think Liberia have to make use of the renewable energy? Some talking about the solar energy, or making use of that waste, because green energy or something like that. So I'll just close over that question, and probably there's a big question coming from the live. Then we take question from the Makolis,
All right. So
and then Fatumata. There is the apart from that, is this one big debate, the issue of the establishment of Ministry of Science and Tech. So why is your take on it? Is it good enough for government like this? So you can also make a statement on that.
okay, so let's do it one at a time.
Yeah. It's so many questions, but I think that is yeah, maybe probably when if you forget, I will try to remind you about it.
Okay, so let's take it one at a time. The first question you said was, how does um
STEM,
what is
science,
the
STEM.
importance of STEM in Liberia, right?
Yeah.
I think STEM is really really important because it connects to a lot of different areas, whether it's like Liberia has a lot of improvements that needs to be made, whether it's with electrical sector, health sector, agriculture, educational, and so on. So I think it helps a lot in so many ways, in a lot of ways. And one of it could be like especially talking about like technology. Many of us like coming from like Liberia, we don't know more about computers, just basic computers, us computer skills. Some of us don't know about it, or even sometimes you tell someone asks you, can you edit my essay? And then they send the essay to me through Messenger, and I'm like, can you please put this in Google Doc? It will make it much easier for us to like work on this, and they don't understand what that is, and I have to send more information about how to learn this. So those are just like tools that are used for used in the technological part, but it's just an example of how important it is because while you're sending it to me through Messenger, if I go and make changes, for example, you are not going to directly maybe understand why I made that changes, but with, for example, Google Doc, I could give a comment about what I'm changing and why I'm doing that, or even suggest something, and you could decide to take it or not. So it's just an example for that specific part. I just took the T out of STEM to show how important that is. So just these smaller parts could be could go a long way. So teaching like kids or like from kindergarten up to high school about how to use different technology is really important because it helped them set them up for the future. And the world is heading towards a more advanced um technological future, and we are seeing AI advancement every time. So like the saying goes, like there's a lot of saying that technology is taking all of the jobs. It's taking some of the job, but in the end someone says technology is going to take jobs from people that don't know how to use technology, and which I think is like true because it could be applied to like any of the other sectors that I just mentioned, especially with AI advancement, automation, and everything. So if we improve these areas, we are going to stay on top and also like in line with current trends because this is almost like a trend in the world. So by knowing that, we stay with trend. And how do we also target that is through like the younger ones, helping them to develop their skill because sometimes it's harder for you to learn certain things when you're older compared to when you're younger. I'm not saying we should not focus on people who are older, but I'm just saying like all of us, but mainly like also like the younger generation, helping them to develop different skills. It could be coding skills, or it could be about how to maybe learn different trades, or maybe how to put a component of a computer together and so on. So like there are different aspects. So that's for the educational side of it, but then also like in different aspects of Liberia, like the health sector, people are using technology to help advance the health sector, and one of it could also be like using. So one of the things we did during our data science project was to determine um, heart cancer um, to using data science and like k-mean clustering cluster where it's most likely for the cancer to occur and so on based on the data taken from the patient and so on. So many of the data scientists, some data scientists also go into the health sector and they help improve those parts those data and so on. They work with other doctors who are from other places to like to get together. But all in all, people who are like in different places, whether it could be like from physics, from biology, from chemistry, you name it. There are so many different fields in STEM, but then putting all of these together, if we work together, we ought to have like different discipline skills and so on. We get a much better result compared to when we're all like from the same part. So it's good that since STEM is really important and having diversity in STEM is also really important, especially for Liberia, and it's going to help a lot with so many aspects. And I just listed only a few. But
What's
I'll
about
still consider
what's
technology.
about what's about electricity? You have us to the improvement in electricity. Which way, like bro? Which way is preferable for like bro? Is it renewable energy or I mean you can what's the some of the recommendation do you have?
Yeah, I think based on Liberia climate, I would suggest like more renewable energy. But then my concern about Liberia, maybe before I left Liberia and even up to now, has been with electrical fires. And so, what are some of the causes? And this is one of the reasons why I want to do electrical grounding because I feel like it could help a lot. But then I'm not saying that's the main cause. I'm not saying that Liberia doesn't have more electrical grounding. That's why it's the case that there are more electrical fires, but it could play a role. I think there are some other causes of it too. Could be like faulty wiring, the high increase of power theft, and all of these things like have been contributing a lot. So um, I think the government has been trying to like improve the electrical sector, and there are some private entities like the Millennium Challenge and other places that are working with the government or like to other organizations to help improve electricity. But I think more needs to be done, and it doesn't have to be only about improving electricity, because while we are trying to improve electricity, there are so many deaths that are going around, and some of which are caused by like electrical fire. Like sometimes I ask friends, "Oh, what happened?" They'd be like, "Oh, there was the current. This happened. We just saw, the wire was like this and so on." So like faulty wiring, having appliances that are outdated, and not having proper grounding system and so on. These are all things that we could target. And my main focus when I get a way to improve Liberia, my main focus want to be about helping improve electricity, but also like reducing electrical fire, and especially through like proper grounding system. So I've emphasized on grounding. Maybe some people might not know what that is. It's mostly about um, redirecting this is the simplest way I'm putting it. So it's also about like redirecting electricity. If there's a lot of electricity, redirecting it into the earth, and then once it gets to the ground, it's gonna redirect to go back to other parts that electricity are distributed. So that helps a lot, and it's something I think many of us don't even know about in Liberia, and it helps. But that's the part I'm focusing. I'm not saying is the main problem, but there are other parts that could also be focused on. What was the
So
next?
I mean, so the next one was, do you support the establishment of a science and tech ministry?
I think that would be great, but the question then is what are some of the roles, and how does that help? So what are they going to focus on when it comes to like as a ministry? What are their focus going to be? I don't want to assume, so that's why I'm asking you this.
Yeah, they're gonna basically focus on research and taking down, because like for instance, it could be education, monitoring, basic monitoring, innovation, and like people like you to be able to fact check behind things. Unless country like China and Korea was like that, and they came in with this kind of ministry, and their sector, I mean, improve. So a whole lot monitoring system, research. I mean, there are a whole lot into science and tech, and so they're gonna do that monitoring aspect.
Okay, I think
That's what they
really,
do in other country. Okay,
yeah,
okay.
I think that's really interesting, and it's kind of like relates to what I was talking about. Um making our younger generation to know more about science, technology, and all of these things, and stay on top of trend. So having that could be a way of helping to to like narrow this gap of connection between advanced countries that are already using tech and AI, machine learning, and natural language processing, whatever, and compared to like developed countries who are some of whom are like not even familiar with some of these things that I use. But anyway, I'll stop there.
Edwin,
Yeah,
can you come
for
in with
me,
your last?
I don't have any question. I just want to say thank you to Fatu. I think she has been so amazing on the platform, and uh, I believe a lot of people going to learn from her. For me, when I saw her profile, actually, I felt so amazed to see a young woman into data science and physics. It's so amazing, and I wish a lot of people can learn from her, can reach out to her, learn from her, and I think she serves as an inspiration to many young people. Because in Liberia, to see a young girl doing mathematics, physics is not really common. So I want to applaud you. Personally, I want to say thank you so much for all of the work that you're doing. You are an amazing person, and I hope to see you go far in 5 years, in 6 years time. I hope to see you go far. So thank you so much for being on the platform, and I hope you will come another time for us to talk. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Edwin. Thank you all for also like hosting me.
Yeah, so I mean, you're gonna give your parting comment, but Darius, do you have any last comment to make towards the guest?
Well, for me, I am out of words. But however, Fatimata, um, No, we are so proud of you. Actually, we are. And your car is weird because not many women out in that field. People are there, women are there, but there are not many because most of us, we are afraid of math, we are afraid of headache. But seeing you taking that bold step, you are an inspiration to many girls out there, and they
Thank,
will be looking up to you. So thank you so much for taking that path.
thank you too. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you. So we're gonna read the last comments, and then we'll get back to you to give your parting comment. Folks, if you are just joining us, her name is Fatmata El Kaba, and she is I mean, a talented librarian child and also a librarian girl, making flying the flag of Liberia up there in
Yeah.
physics. And I know she's gonna be the maybe probably the next Sase Newton. I believe this, and to yes, I know some kinds of invention gonna come from you. I know Liberia is very good at this, and we are I can tell you for sure we love our country so much. Do you know this? Sometimes even here when I'm doing my presentation, so like every end of the slide you see the Liberian flag in the corner, and my professor would normally say, "My man, you love your country so much." So I know, and every bit of the statement you're making, you always mention that you're going to Liberia will be great one day. You believe that this thing's going to improve, and you actually were Stephanie is coming very late, and we just leaving. But I'm going to read the comment, and let me read the comment first from the live. And Abdullah Dole is saying his question was, "What are some of those challenge faced during your study?" I think you already answered that question already. And so, I mean, we're not going to be hard and pudding. And so, Richard Taylor giving a hand of applause. And so Clifton Kwareke Glee, he said, kudos Fatmata and thanks to the team at Innovation Lab also for the level of work. So Aliu Toure is following. Dr. Mamu A. Dukle, Dr. Mamu Dukle, I think you know Dr. Dukle, and also you know Dr. Kaba. And so Dr. Dukle is saying, thanks so much to the guest. She is an inspiration to many Liberian youth watching tonight. And so these are the comments. I think Leo Manto was earlier watching, Blama V. Kamara, and also Elio Koso George Maggie was watching. And so, I mean, we just joined by someone, but Stephanie, we're not taking questions, but you can just maybe even watching behind the back. You can just make a statement before she can be able to do her closing.
Um, to be real, I was not following the show because I had some internet issue today. But I was really, really wanting to, interact with her. But nevertheless, I will still go back to listen to the broadcast. So I don't have nothing to say. All I need to say is just by me seeing you on the flyer and looking at your accomplishment, you doing physics, it just show a huge inspiration and motivation to me as a person. So I want to
Thank
say thank you. You are one of those that we can count on, like breaking the patriarchy, and you are a total motivation that no matter what it takes, you can study or be educated in any other field. It does not matter your gender, description. So thank you, and I hope to interact with you one day.
thank you
You,
so much. I
you
hope
know,
so.
like I said, I want to also say this that I'm going to borrow this word from Ellen that this child will be great because if I just imagine myself because I did chemistry, I'm doing masters in chemistry, but I did chemistry and mathematics and my minor. And if I just imagine the struggles I went through with the calculus, the differential equation, and all of these techniques derived from physics. You have to do a lot of physics, my motion, dynamic. These things very much kind of headaches. And seeing a female into physics, you know, is very very much strange. And I mean, I must say to you, you are actually an inspiration to a lot of young people up there. And Aliu Toure is saying the young generation is absolutely making improvement. Together we can do better than this. And he's actually right. That's actually right of you. And Thank you so much. And Fatmata, you can just give a wrap up for us, and then uh, and we're gonna call it a day.
Okay, thank you so much for thank you and your team for hosting me. I really appreciate it. It has been a wonderful conversation, and I hope someday I would come back. I don't know, depend on my schedule and your schedule as well. So I know it was kind of difficult for us to get to this, but I really appreciate your patience through it all. And thank you all for the amazing questions and for the amazing comments. Um, I hope that we all can work towards contributing towards a better future for Liberia, for our family, and everyone. And yeah,
Wow, very short closing, and I know Liberia is proud of you. Fatmata, wherever you go, keep in. One thing you said to me that I actually can't forget about this on the show was everything you do, you have to keep your head up and keep serving your God. Whether you are a Muslim or Christian, you have to every time pray, and whenever you want to do something, pray to your God so that you can be able to, you get direction, a very good direction to where you are going to, and that actually should be, we from the kind of religious background, that actually should be our strength, because it's actually something that you don't know actually where your dream. Going to help you. I went even people, even Stephanie on this show. There are a lot of young people watching and seeing you. I'm actually appreciate you. Like, very proud of you. Keep
thank
doing
you.
what you are doing, and one day will pay off for you. Thank you so much.
Thank you too. Have a good day.
Okay. Have a good day. Bye bye. Okay, so guys, it's actually a good show. She's actually an amazing young lady. If you are just watching, she was just on. Her name is Fatmata El Kaba, and a young Liberian female into physics and data science. And she discussed a lot. She has a bachelor into physics and data science. Now she'll be doing graduate study in the US. Hope that she's gonna come on one day to give her some of her research experience, her graduate research experience. So I would take maybe Stephanie. First of all, let me go to Darius then before I can come to Stephanie. Darius, do you have any other last closing before we can go?
Well, actually, I'm how to actually this? I'm just funny words for Fatimata, but I'm being worried because she is actually great though. From everything she said, I heard a lot from her, and you know, doing physics introductions is not an easy thing. It can be stressful. I know she faced a lot of challenges, but she still mustered the courage to it. It was true dedication and hard work. So she's a good person though. And Labura, Assistant Labura is looking upon her. Yeah, Labura is with her and embrace her. So yeah,
Liberia, yes. So yes, you're saying you're in flight. I didn't. Darius,
yeah. So it was nice having her on the show today. Yeah, it was really nice. I'm very much sure from today show we had with her, it has been inspiring. A lot of young people out there will get inspired from her because for everything she said, people were able to distinguish between engineering and data science, or how do they call them, how to specialize in everything. She explained everything. So a lot of people learn from her.
wow. Yes, you are right. Liberia is proud of all, and that's what we do here at the Science and Society. We bring people who are doing that little thing in their corner to be able to discuss, so asking the questions that will inspire people up there to follow their step, to learn their techniques and their method they use to achieve what they are doing. And so, Stephanie, your last words. Sorry for coming late. Let me say sorry to you for you.
Um, my mates will be real. Right now, I'm feeling so hurt because I really planned for this show, but the moment I saw her profile, I was like, oh, an inspiring female will be on the show. But then coming this late, it really breaks me a lot. But nevertheless, right?
Like what my sister said, I was in here, right? But I sure, from what my sister said, the show went well. And just from the little time that I spent with her on the show, you can tell that she is a scholar from the way she sound and everything like that. And you know the most important part that I really love about her is her religion. Like coming from the Muslim background, wherein the Muslim background they are focused neither on marriage and a whole lot. And
We're
then
gonna
the
that's what debate we're raising. So we're not going to let me leave so that that's another debate you want to raise. But
please allow me to get my
I won't let you. Yeah, you can end your statement. You can.
please allow me to be fly, please. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, wherein the woman and papa they only see the means to invest in the boys because I didn't want to take care of the home. And she, you know, gaining the courage and saying that it's not like I can get married, but this is what I want to do. And not just what you want to do, but in the science field, not just science field, but physics. Physics, when you just hear the names here, it make you scared. Physics, then she added up with
Okay.
data statistic. It takes a lot. It takes a whole lot. So I just want to tell other females out there that see her as a total motivation. See her as an inspiration that dreams can come true. There's nothing in this world that you cannot do. Once you put your time and your effort to it, believe in yourself and keep pushing yourself for greatness. So, to our listener out there, I want you guys to please always follow this platform. Please do not feel, please do not feel that um this is a science thing. So once I'm not doing science or art, I'm not supposed to once I'm not doing science and I'm doing art, I'm not supposed to follow this page. This page is not only for science students, even though we prioritize science, but then it's very educative. So try to be part of the educational thing so that we can be able to move Liberia forward. So thank you to our followers and our listener out there. Let's keep following and listening to the show.
One good thing, today I'm very, very happy that a lot of things are making me happy. And there is we Dr. Yang have been doing this issue of coming on supporting us. Even we have some lot of conversation about this improving this platform. He said to me, you are doing a great work, and he was able to come the other day on the show. And today, before, let's say 20 minutes before coming on the show, Dr. Dubé Chris Yan was appointed at the National Public Health Institute. He's the new director at the National Public Health
Wow.
Institute. Yes, so, and I think I asked that question from the question I asked you on the show the last time was from the
Mm-hmm.
background that I heard something in the corner. And every time I talk to him, sometimes I say that, he say, my man, I don't actually know what's going on. Sometimes he just say, I don't know what's going on, but I'm in Liberia for some time. I will be going back to Kenya to do my work. But we want to say congratulations up there. I will maybe give you guys a chance to say congratulations to him. Want to say congratulations up there to you, to Dr. Yan, Dr. Dube Christian. He's normally watching every time. You're not getting me? Darius, are you getting me?
I'm getting you
There,
clearly.
yeah, Stephanie is not getting me. Stephanie, you are not getting me.
There
But Darius is getting me.
you go.
Darius is getting me. So we want to say congratulations to Dr. Dube. Yeah, your internet is giving problem. It is your internet. It is your internet. I think your internet is giving some problem. Not me, it's your internet. So I want to say, yes, Aliu is also hearing me. So I want to say congratulations to Dr. Dubai Chris Yan. He's a very, hardworking patriot. He's been doing a lot. People who don't know, Africa is proud of him. He's one of Africa's lone inventor, inventing a testing kit that can do a rapid diagnostic test for more than 3 to 4 diseases at the same time. Talking about COVID-19, Ebola, and a lot more of diseases, RNA diseases. outbreak, and I was very happy because I believe in innovation, I believe in research. Appointing someone who is into STEM at MPhil would be a very good thing. Would be a very good thing. That was why I took my page to do that. Probably people who saw me every time posting about that or yeah, maybe probably they felt offended. I want to use this platform also to personally say sorry, I'm not into politics, but when it comes to professionalism, I actually want to be clear with people because I'm we on a campaign. I'm also on a campaign of improving innovation and science in Liberia. And so when we see people in that direction, we will be able to support them in whatever way we should support them. People like Fatmata who just been here tomorrow. Maybe if Fatmata was nominated as LEC boss, I'm going to support the idea. If Fatmata tomorrow was nominated in somewhere in the engineering sector, I'm going to support her for that. Not because I want a job, but because I think we want a better Liberia for. We don't want to experience the same system I experienced back home when I was in Liberia. I experienced issue of poor learning system in the sciences, poor laboratory system, a lot of issues. I mean, poor research. I didn't know how to write a quite good academic paper when I was in Liberia. And this is something that people should not be able to hide. People should not brag about. I was smart. I used to do a lot of calculation. I used to do a lot. But the war is running on in research and innovation, and I didn't know how to even do a quite research. Just go to the lab, explain what the experiment is saying, and just get out of the lab. But I came up and I'm seeing different dimension of life, different things about life, different kinds of way being proud. I think quite recently I did a post on my page and congratulating myself. I'm also proud of myself that I was able to even over the last 2 months mentor some group of students also here into research. So it's something that Liberia can do. We have brain. Look at Kaba, look at you, DRS, look at Stephanie. It's something that Liberia can do. We can improve this system. Liberia have a lot. We have a lot of resources, natural resources that we can be able to depend on to survive on. We don't have to say tomorrow waiting for the IMF, waiting for World Bank to give us money before we can be able to I mean to invest. The kids are in school in look go to counties like Nimba, Lofa, other places. The kids are not getting the adequate, and I'm saying this from from the background where I experienced this deeper because there was a time even when I graduated from the university, I went back to my home, I went back to my village to be able to teach. I had this experience, you know, a colleague of mine took some of my colleagues, Cristiano, some of my colleagues who are watching, I think Cristiano watching Francis Bala, all these guys, we went back to our home. There's a time and we were able to this place you find a teacher where you only have this is the area you have found one person only teaching physics, and this person is not even I mean, a university graduate. He's an educator. He's an educator in the sciences. So we have a lot more to improve on, and that's the reason why we stand for this. In a couple of months to go, we're going to be pushing government feet to the fire to be able to push for an innovation youth innovation center, science and innovation center, and also establishing ministry of science and tech. And we also putting a bill together, talking to a couple of guys, and hope that this is going to work. And someone said it's not going to work. You know, we don't have budget for establishing another ministry, but why we get other ministry that don't even have nothing doing to impact, but science and tech around the world have a very great impact. Countries like China, Korea didn't have better economy around the world, but look at Korea today. Korea is improving because of science and tech, and we can do it. I'll stop there, and probably you guys can say one or two words of Dr. Yan. Maybe he's gonna watch this video and he's watching currently. But I'm so happy today, and I'm not it having a time where I have a special place in my I'm going. I'm going for a better vacation somewhere. I'm not going to call this place name, but it's actually a good. I mean, it's actually good for me. I'm so happy today. Today is actually a good day for me. So, Stephanie or Darius? Stephanie, you can.
Well,
Okay, Darius
yeah.
already. Yeah.
Congratulations, Dr. Yang. Uh, we are so happy that the governor was able to see and get you there. Congratulations, sir. And we know that with you being there, so many things are going to be right. So many things are going to be in order, and we are looking up to you.
Okay. So, Stephanie.
Okay, so let me just make things clear here. On the first day, I interacted with Tata Yen because I've been hearing about him, but then I haven't seen him that or have some conversation with him. But then through this platform, I was able to interact with him. I knew that he is a man that has the country at heart. Like he's one person that sees the greater future. Like he want Liberia to be one of the best countries in the world. And then he's also hoping on we the youth to be able to run the race when their time have come to an end. And that is the essence of being a leader, right? A leader is somebody that is able to impact other people so that when they are no longer existing, their dreams will not just die down. And I must give him a thumbs up for that. And I'm so happy that he was able, to be nominated. Was it nomination or he was announced already?
So he was announced already this afternoon, but I
Mohammed.
think he went to. Yes, are you getting me? Stephanie, you are very
Okay.
bad. Your internet. So I
Yes.
think no, he was nominated. He was today appointed, but he went through some vetting process. I think there were a couple of TD person, TD individuals, but he was selected. He came out first, and I mean there are a lot of propaganda on the Facebook and other places, but I think it's good. I'm happy that today the people who did the vet, I don't know
So
them, but they
so
do the next.
as I was saying, I'm so happy that he was appointed as the minister. Is it minister?
Director,
Yes.
director, director, not minister.
Okay,
Director.
director. As the director, and I know what he can do just from interacting with him. I know that there are going to be a lot of positive changes, and I just hope for the best, and I hope that he doesn't, limit my expectation because my expectation is too hard for him right now. So that Yen, keep on your good work, and we are watching here to see the new positive changes that you are coming up with because we know that you are a man of innovation. The young people are indeed proud of you, and you still have more ahead of you. So do best, do well, and keep your integrity as you have always been a man of integrity.
So I mean, last day, folks. One good thing I can say to you is that this is Science and Society. We are always here on Tuesday and Friday. Join us, share our life, help us to get more follower, and help us also to get sponsor to our program. We currently reach out to radio station, couple of radio stations in Liberia to be able to go live. This show is actually to showcase Liberians that are up here in Liberia that are doing great work. And folks, I can say to you, there's a young guy I came across from MRT, a librarian guy into tech, and I'm sure he's gonna come on here. We still talking that Mr. Vince Randolph were able to link him to me, and I'm sure he's also gonna come on to be able to tell all his story, how he journey up on his invention. But until then, this is science. I can say to you, science. No one should fool you. No one should lie to you. Science is very important. If they fool you, eating the water you drink, I mean, in the hospital, in the home, in the industry, on the street, in your environment, science is everywhere. Even in your office, whether you are in economy, science have no boundary. You have to understand. You have to understand some things about STEM, and STEM is everywhere. Whether be it economy, improvement of the economy. The reason why every time someone say we keep facing problem of our economy because maybe probably we don't have the kinds of people that we have into the position. And I always say this on the show. I miss it is this professor I actually miss so much. And the late Mr. Prince Tobor said to me one time, and this was a professor that actually made me to score 95 in calculus. And he said to me, Mohammed, the reason why people who do mathematics and just teach is because librarians don't know the importance of of mathematicians. Because mathematicians should be people who should even work at the banking sector. They should be people who work at even at places like financial places along with the economy because Economists are more like interpreting graph, explaining the reality or interpreting the information. But the mathematician do the work almost like the engineer of the work. But in online library is on a different way, different level. When you are doing math, your parent will say to you, you have to change to do economics or you have to change to be a doctor. And we can keep working like that. Liberia will improve one day. I believe this, and Chu will always be here. You see my time. Sometimes tired, but I'm always here. I think today I almost missed all the time because I was tired. But see you guys. Actually, a good show. Stephanie, Darius, I really appreciate you guys for coming here always. It's actually a tough time. Internet in Liberia is very difficult. You guys are always. We're not giving you data for this, but you are always here. Sacrificing your time to the nation, to Liberia. This is not the issue of politics. We must try to change him in STEM. Science should improve as much, and we'll look at people, put government feet to fire. If Stephanie is qualified to go in certain position, we know Stephanie has certain potential. We'll keep flagging it that Stephanie is good for the place like we did for Dato Yang. And thank you so much. And I think I can say bye bye for my end. I think we can call it a day. Thank you so much. Bye bye, guys. It was actually a good time having you guys, and I'm so happy to be here. Stephanie? Oh, Darius? So bye bye for my end. Darius, are you there? Wow. So I think all of the ladies are already left me. I mean, it's actually like my there are a lot of guys. I think I can call it a day now. It was actually a good show having a female on this kind of platform. Made it was actually a good show. But I'm gonna take this musical break, and then we can be able to call it a day. Let me take this musical break. Our normal theme song, our normal musical break we can normally take, and then we can. But I see comment from Aliu. Aliu say bye and thanks always for the initiative. Ali Dure, my own brother Damon Kind is watching. Say great job, brother. And I'm actually happy. I'm happy seeing my brother watching me. Thank you so much, Diamond. And bye bye from my end. Thank you so much.
Why kwa woman why say why back I can't tell what the color to cover. I can't tell what the color to cover. Yeah, girl. 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 Oh, yeah, girl. Oh, yeah, girl. Oh, yeah, girl. Oh, yeah, girl. you are the baby. Nailia, Ivalia, you are the baby. 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 Oh, you are the baby. Oh, you are the baby. I want the baby. Now you are the baby. Mubera mansie mwa kono bi fine ya for murder. Mubera mansie mwa dia mo bi sign ya for murder. Not even now when you want talk for the what check it out. Not even now when you want talk for the what check it out.